Greetings! I got a real quick Buddhist history lesson for you today. My lecture or Buddhist lesson today is Republicans change history like the Japanese rewrote history. Now, what has happened? Today I was reading an article in the Huffington Post News online journal, and it talked about how the Republicans, how the Texas Republicans have changed history in the books in regards to black people. Now, I want you to look at a graphic here, and this is what it says about slavery. It says the Atlantic slave trade between 1500 to 1800 brought millions of workers from Africa to the southern United States to work on agricultural plantations. My goodness. Can you imagine a group of racist white people trying to rewrite history and not live up to America's original sin of slavery? It is slavery in America that made America the rich country that it is today. Look at this graphic here. America became wealthy because of the slave trade, because of the free labor. But it was not a pretty sight. What they did to people of African descent was horrible. It was horrible. It was despicable. And it's even more despicable that you got a group of lawmakers who want to live a lie by rewriting the history so their ancestors will not know what their forefathers did to poor people in Africa who came in on slave ships, who experienced some of the worst horrors ever in the history of humanity. But even more horrible than the slavery in America is the slavery that happened in India under the Brahmins, under the Hindu religion. And what's even more despicable is that we have Japanese priests who come to America under the guise and auspices of Buddhism and love. And they are telling the same lie, or they are rewriting history. I want you to first of all look at what the word Chandela and what the SGI, that's the Soka Gakkai International, based in Japan, and what they say about the Chandela. Now, what they said a Chandela, a class of untouchables below the lowest of the four castes in ancient India caste system. People in this class hung a corpse, butchered animals, and carried out other tasks associated with death or the killing of living things. The Maya Sutra mentions a Chandela who drives sheep or oxen to the slaughterhouse. That's what the SGI write. Now, I want you to look here at a picture of Nichiren Shoshu priest, Reverend Shugu Komuro. This priest looks like a nice, loving human being. He is probably so calm and peaceful, and you think you're learning Buddhism. Now, what he writes about the Chandela, he says, in ancient Indian society, a Chandela is the lowest class of people in charge of butchering animals. Unquote. Now, what you have here, ladies and gentlemen, is a group of despicable, low-down, rotten people who come to America and teach Buddhism, but they don't tell the facts. I'm just going to tell you a little bit of it. First of all, Nichiren Shoshu says in Banishment to Sado and Letter from Sado that he was a family of Chandala. The Chandalas were the black people of India. And they were actually the Black Buddhists of India who did not agree with Hinduism and the caste system. So they were put out of the caste system, and they weren't even in a caste. They were in what is called the outcasts or the untouchables. And untouchable for these people meant untouchable. That means that even their shadow was polluted. These people could not even come out until nighttime. They were not, you can't even walk out in the daytime because your shadow is polluted. If a Chandala were to look at your food, you had to throw your food away. A Chandala could only wear clothes of dead people. He could not be seen with clean clothes on. This was against the law. He could not have a house with a tile roof, nor could he ever carry himself with dignity. He could never stand tall. When he see a Brahman, he had to bow his head. Even if he looked at a Brahman, he can have his eyes cut out. If he heard the words of the sutra, he was to have molten iron poured into his ears. These people had the worst inhumanity against any human being in the history. If a Chandala is caught doing something, or if you see him, you can ask him to work without pay. Or if there was a woman, that woman had to have sex. In other words, you were just a slave living in an outcast. There is so much I could tell you and how bad they treated the Chandalas or the black people in India. Today, these people are called Dalits, and they suffer some of the same discrimination that their ancestors faced, just like we black people in America face some of the horrors of racism. Even today in India, they face these horrors. But what you have is that you have Japanese leaders and teachers who come to America and teach Buddhism to African Americans, and they rewrite the history. They rewrite the story of the Chandala and make it look like it's a job or some kind of profession, when it is one of the most worst systems of inhumanity against humanity or any human. So I'm going to close this quick Buddhist history lesson to let you know that if the Japanese will lie about something like this, they certainly are lying to you about the Buddhist teachings. And I'm going to end like this. Them jive mother hubbers, they don't make my country. Them jive mother hubbers, they ain't my brother. Them jive mother hubbers, they don't make my country. Them jive mother hubbers, they don't make my country. Them jive mother hubbers, they don't make my country. Them jive mother hubbers, they don't make my country. Them jive mother hubbers, they don't make my country. Them jive mother hubbers, they don't make my country. Buddhism is a religion of equality. The Japanese practice of Buddhism of superiority. Black people, the Buddhist sect called the SCI, them black people are black traitors. They deny black history and worship a Japanese called Daisaki Keita. I'm the one that said the Keita is wrong. The Buddha wasn't no Aryan. Daisaki Keita don't teach no true Buddhism. He teaches Japanese nationalism. Black Buddhists need to see the movie called Selma. Perhaps these blacks can get a sense of black pride. They need to see how those who fought for equality laid down their lives and died. It does not matter what color you be. True Buddhism is about human equality. Let me tell you a true respect fact. There's nothing wrong with being proud Buddhist and black. Only racists and Uncle Toms object to the proud Black Buddhist sect. Them suckers in Nichiren Shoshu teach that only a Japanese can be a priest.